Coming up on News Live at 6, Syracuse Graduate Employees United is holding an information session discussing the details on its first ever contract, what the biggest takeaways are.
I still think we have too much student housing.
Too much student housing
We have
Syracuse
too much
University?
student housing.
Fascinating.
Plus, Common Council member Mo Brown explains that unexpected issue with housing in Syracuse.
What does it mean to be in a society where artificial intelligence is actually governing our liberties?
And students showcase their AI research, the impact new technology is having in the Salt City. News Live at 6 starts right now.
This is CitrusTV News Live at 6, your campus news leader.
Students are taking the next step towards a collective bargaining agreement. Welcome into News Live at 6. I'm Cora Maricosta, filling in for Benjamin Schiller.
And I'm Katie Fongwangsa. That's where we start tonight. Jackson Breslin is live outside the Grad Student Union info session where all the details are being discussed. Jackson, what are grad students learning tonight?
Thanks, Cora and Katie. I'm here outside of Gifford Auditorium where Syracuse Graduate Employees United is holding an information session discussing the details of its first contract with the university. Now, this comes after over 2 years of organizing, months of negotiations, and an 11-hour bargaining session earlier this month. I spoke with Hayden Courtney, a member of the union's bargaining committee, about what the next steps for the union are if the contract is passed.
Yeah, so this is just the first contract. I want to say, like, first contract set the kind of like get the foot in the door in a lot of ways. And so as we kind of like move forward and we get into the second, third, fourth contract, like it's only going to go up from here. We're going to be, kind of like within the institution now. We'll have an office here on campus, which is going to be helpful for, kind of getting out and helping talk with folks that are members and within the union.
Now, if you'll take a look at the graphic on your screen, here are some of the biggest takeaways from the contract. The agreement will run through 2028 and increase the median stipend for grad students by 24% next year and 31% by the end of the contract. Healthcare was a major topic of discussion, and the agreement states that the university will subsidize 80% of state health insurance premiums and 100% of the premium for preventative dental care. The contract also gives grad students the same academic freedom as full-time faculty members and reimburses visa fees for first-year international students. Now, the meeting behind me is just an information session. Students or members of the union will actually vote on the contract Monday and Tuesday of next week. If the contract is ratified, it will result in major changes for how grad students are treated here at Syracuse. Reporting live outside of Gifford Auditorium, I'm Jackson Breslin, CitrusTV News.
Thank you, Jackson. As the university works to expand their housing offerings on campus, the county legislator says there's, quote, too much student housing here in Syracuse. Our political reporter Luke Radel sat down with Democrat Maurice Brown to explain his position.
I want to talk a little bit more about that comment about student housing. What are the specific problems that you see right now in student housing, particularly on this campus, but also in the area more broadly?
So in the area more broadly, so on campus, I really don't know. I have no jurisdiction over the campus, but in like the Euclid neighborhood, the Westcott neighborhoods, what we find is students will live in the house, the semester, maybe the year, and then problems will come up during the year, but the landlord won't address those problems until the student leaves, quote unquote. And then what happens is next year, they like paint over the actual, light fixture. They do those like small fixes. And then when the next tenant comes in, the next student comes in, they don't notice the problem until November, December, and then they leave. And over the past 10, 20 years, that's been happening. And now what you see is a lot of the houses on Ackerman, on Euclid, in the university neighborhood, they're dilapidated. They haven't been taken care of. And because we haven't taken care of those houses, that housing stock, no one wants to live there. I would much rather live in the fancy place on Genesee Street. I would much rather live above Five Guys in these nice new well taken care of places. But like we have to take care of those original homes as well because it's so much land, it's so much housing stock, it's so much, housing that could be quality that we just haven't taken care of.
Yeah, so when you say though that like too much student housing,
yes,
what does that mean, like specifically, practically speaking?
So if a developer in this region wants to develop, they have to choose. Are you going to develop low income housing? Are you going to develop affordable housing? Are you going to develop mixed income, mixed use, market rate, workforce, senior housing, luxury housing, student housing? Almost every time in this region, without fail, it's either student or luxury housing. That's pretty much all we've built for the past.
I want to talk a little bit more about that comment about student housing. What are the specific problems that you see right now in student housing?
You can also catch the full interview with Brown on our YouTube channel.
Syracuse Autothon is back tomorrow. The annual dance marathon raises funds for children and families at the upstate Golisano Children's Hospital. It focuses on making interactions with kids from the hospital. The marathon includes dancing, singing, food, and guest speakers. It will run for 12 hours straight from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m.
Also on campus this weekend, Falk College will host Trans Support Day. The event will have free resources for trans teens and families, including services like gender-affirming healthcare, voice coaches, and affirming beauty experiences. Trans Support Day will take place in Peck Hall from 12 to 4.
This weekend, the university and beloved mascot Otto will celebrate their birthdays. The university was founded on March 24, 1870, making the university 154. Otto's a little younger, turning 34 this Sunday. If you want to celebrate with Otto, you can head to Shine on Saturday night at 9 for a cake and a happy birthday sing-along.
And today, the Lender Center held a discussion on AI featuring student researchers. Citrus TV reporter Lizzie Gottlieb attended the event and got a close look at what students were sharing.
Thanks, Katie and Cora. I'm here at the Sheraton Hotel where the Lender Center Symposium is showcasing student research on AI and its various impacts on social justices. The Decoded Vision, Land Bodies in AI in Syracuse Symposium displayed student research surrounding AI. Members of the Lender Center and students attended the discussion. Student researcher Parker Bryant says that AI has an impact on education, weaponry, and Syracuse.
Running themes right now is from smart city to smart, salt city to smart city. Syracuse right now is in the national spotlight for becoming one of the smartest cities, and it is using advanced technology, which is powered by AI.
Student researcher Nadia Lango-Summer shares what it means for the Lender Center to give her and other students the opportunity for research.
Yeah, it's been really great. I mean, Professor Vaughan has been an amazing faculty advisor. She's really helped us through this project, especially because, three of us are undergraduate students and haven't done this kind of work before, so it's been really helpful to have that kind of mentorship and work together as a team.
The students share their collective belief that AI and its relationship with society will continue to change. For Citrus TV News, I'm Lizzie Gottlieb.
Thank you, Lizzie. Earth Month is right around the corner. The Sustainability Management Department will host a variety of events. You can prepare garden beds on April 10th and 17th at Pete's Giving Garden, or hear about the importance of bats as pollinators and the value of composting. There's also a virtual event on how the university's greenhouse gas emissions are tracked and categorized on April 29th.
Well, speaking of Earth Month, I haven't seen too much green this entire week, Katie.
I know, it's been snowing yesterday, today. We got so much snow today out of nowhere when it was all really nice and warm. But you know who would know more about that is Moira Vaughan in studio. Moira?
Katie, I wish I could say that this tan I have right now is from the Syracuse weather, but if you take a look outside, you'll see that it is clearly not. With right now being 29 degrees out, feeling like 21, we have a little bit of a winter storm that will hopefully not stay too long in tomorrow. Looking ahead to later tonight, it will still be at 29 degrees with feeling like 21 with a winter weather advisory up until 2 p.m. tomorrow. Looking across that region, we're going to be seeing 29 degrees in a couple more areas. We're going to be seeing those high 20s to low 30s throughout the region, so just stay clear of the roads tonight because the roads may be very icy and slippery. Coming up on News Live at 6, all of your 5-day forecast. Guys, back to you.
I think it's kind of the bare minimum, or it's just the very beginning of a long process.
For ceasefire in Gaza, why they're calling residents to use their voices.
Plus, does Trump have the solution to his cash crunch? Find out if Truth Social going public will help the former president with his legal costs.
If you're buzzed and doing this, to make yourself feel okay to drive,
ZWX.
You're not okay to drive.
YGKLVW. Regular you.
You've messed up your son's haircut.
Mom?
Do you A, try to fix it?
Like it never happened.
B, work with what you got? Or C, show solidarity?
Thank you, baby.
As a parent, there are no perfect answers. But you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
Look at you. You're at the top of your game. You're unstoppable. Nothing can throw you off track. Wait, is that your car? Uh-oh. Yeah, I saw that coming. That will throw you off track. You're looking at around 10 grand in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. Let's try this again. Smart move. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.
You quit smoking and thought, that's that. But here's the thing about lung cancer. By the time you see the symptoms, it could be too late. But now, there's a new scan that can detect lung cancer early, when it's more curable. If you smoked, get scanned. Talk to your doctor or learn more at savedbythescan.org.
You're watching Citrus TV News live at 6 with Benjamin Schiller, Katie Fongvangsa, and Moira Vaughan. Now, your campus news leader continues.
Welcome back into News Live at 6. 19 local organizations held their first public educational event last night as the ceasefire coalition.
Reporter Leah Cohn was at the meeting last night and explains why the coalition wants Syracuse residents to use their voice to demand a ceasefire in Gaza.
The 19 local organizations came together as a coalition in early February to pass a ceasefire resolution at the Syracuse Common Council. Their goal of the resolution is to get city council members to make community-wide efforts in demanding a ceasefire in Gaza. Coalition members explained efforts like using Syracuse tax dollars to aid city residents rather than fund companies that fund overseas military efforts. Dana Carmelli, the moderator of the event, shared with attendees each organization that supports a ceasefire.
Space for Hate, Palestinian Solidarity Collective at SU, NEPA in Binghamton, Solidarity with Palestine, Art Rage Gallery, an amazing place.
Brent Bleer is a long-term participant of one of the organizations, the Syracuse Peace Council.
Peace Council has been part of grassroots efforts against war and for peace and advocating for social justice.
At the event, 4 speakers who have requested to remain anonymous shared why they believe a ceasefire is the only option for Palestine right now. Moderator Carmelli introduced the panel. Following the speakers, audience members expressed questions and concerns to the speakers.
We wanted to open it up for some brief comments, maybe some questions from the audience if there are any. So if people are interested, just raise your hand. And
Syracuse resident Renee Berry shared that she believes the coalition's goal to pass a resolution is possible.
I think it's achievable, yeah. There's been a lot of other cities, even in New York, that have passed. I think it's kind of the bare minimum, or it's just the very beginning of a long process.
The Q Ceasefire Coalition will continue to host educational events in the future, encouraging the Syracuse community to learn more about the war in Gaza. Citrus TV will keep you updated on the coalition's efforts to pass a ceasefire resolution.
Thank you, Leah. Mayor Ben Walsh and other elected city officials could be in for a pay raise. But first, the mayor has to hold a public hearing Tuesday morning in City Hall. You can voice your concerns on the second floor at 10:30.
The new law would give the mayor a $20,000 pay raise. Council president and common councilors would also see raises of a few $1,000s. The auditor would get a raise of just over $1,000.
A longtime Casanova manufacturer is moving nearly 200 jobs to Mexico. Marquette Switches says employees who will be affected will get notice in line with state requirements. About 60 jobs will stay in Madison County.
The company says the decision was necessary due to low orders and higher costs, and that they made significant efforts and investments to stay in Casanova, but it just wasn't enough.
If you're walking around the Salt City, you may see a few Hollywood stars. Jamesville DeWitt's Carmen Emmy is writing and directing his first feature film right here in Syracuse. The movie, titled Plainclothes, tells the story of an undercover police officer tasked with luring and arresting gay men.
The main character, portrayed by Russell Tovey, then falls in love with one of his targets, played by Tom Blythe, who you might recognize from the latest Hunger Games movie. Filming is set to finish by the end of the month. Release date is yet to be announced.
New details now. After weeks of speculation about Kate Middleton, the Princess of Wales released a video this afternoon. Middleton revealed she has been diagnosed with cancer following her abdominal surgery in January.
As you can imagine, this has taken time. It has taken me time to recover from major surgery in order to start my treatment. But most importantly, it has taken us time to explain everything to George, Charlotte, and Louis in a way that's appropriate for them, and to reassure them that I'm going to be okay.
Middleton says she is now in the early stages of preventative chemotherapy treatment.
Looking at the latest now, the federal government is once again scrambling as it heads towards a potential shutdown at midnight.
Now a spending bill passed by the House is in the hands of the Senate. CitrusTV reporter Ronnie Perillo breaks it down from Washington.
Most importantly,
the yeas are 286, the nays are 134. 2/3 being in the affirmative, the rules are suspended, the resolution is agreed to, and without objection, the motion to reconsider is laid on the table.
Another massive spending bill passes in the House, hours before a government shutdown. The $1.2 trillion package passed late this morning, with most Democrats voting in favor and an almost even split among Republicans. The funding will keep the government open until the end of the 2024 fiscal year, which ends on September 30th. In it, taxpayer dollars for defense, DHS, and education, with ICE receiving more than $10 billion and $20 billion for Customs and Border Protection, allowing for the hiring of more agents as the migrant crisis continues to mount. The bill, a disappointment for some like Georgia's Marjorie Taylor Greene, who filed a surprise motion to vacate Speaker Mike Johnson after the bill passed the House.
But this is basically a warning, and it's time for us to go through the process, take our time, and find a new Speaker of the House that will stand with Republicans and our Republican majority.
Republicans like Greene against the growing amount of aid to Ukraine, as another $300 million in aid was slipped into the bill, which totals over 1,000 pages. Some Republicans fear Greene's motion could send the House into chaos and place the gavel with Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries, as Republicans hold on to power by a thread. In Washington, Ronnie Perillo, CitrusTV News.
Former President Donald Trump is taking his social media app Truth Social public. Trump will have the majority ownership when the company hits the NASDAQ. At its current valuation, Trump could get $3 billion richer.
But many experts don't think the offering will help with his more than $450 million in legal bills. Many believe the initial offering is overvaluing the app, which is losing users year after year. They add in deals like this. Investors are usually locked in from selling right away, meaning Trump couldn't initially instantly sell his shares to pay back legal costs.
Coming up later tonight, how the Syracuse community can prepare for this winter weather advisory. Stay with us.
When I was in foster care, I never knew when I would have to move, so I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day, I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
They told me a bottle couldn't dream. That I would never become a superhero. But I learned how to fly. Just to come back in a new disguise. And be the hero that I've always wanted to be.
from the Citrus TV Weather Center. This is SU's most accurate weather forecast.
Welcome back to News Live at 6. Now, if you were nervous if the snowstorm was going to stay with us after the freezing cold temperatures we've had this week, luckily it will be going away after tomorrow. We'll just be dealing with 33 degrees tomorrow morning, but that winter weather will be washed away by the afternoon tomorrow, and then we're going to be seeing the sun again. Thank goodness. Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, we're getting back up into those higher 40s, up into the 50s by the Tuesday and Wednesday. So Sunday we'll have 37 degrees, Monday and Tuesday in the 49 and 57 degree range, and then on Wednesday we will be seeing some rain, but hopefully that sun will be coming back. Now, looking across the region for the winter weather advisory, I have a little bit of a radar from the Weather Channel, which is telling us how we are literally in the middle of the winter weather advisory, but once again, this is nothing that Syracuse University students aren't used to, and you can see that rain coming up through Pennsylvania, my home state, heading up into New York, but it will only be there for a couple of days, Saturday, Sunday, and maybe Thursday and Friday. But even though we're dealing with some cold weather here, we're hoping to see the women's basketball team heat up in the NCAA basketball tournament. Ryan, what can you tell us about the basketball tournament?
Moira, you can expect to see Syracuse women's basketball on the biggest stage in the college athletics, but we'll have all the details of their next matchup right after the break.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Welcome to my house. Lately, not my happy place. Everybody's pretty tired of each other. The parents were not themselves. My little brothers were morphing into small creatures. The walls were closing in. Clearly, a case of too much family, too close, 24/7. And there's a lot of that going around right now. If this sounds like your house, try going someplace new. YourLifeYourVoice.org. You'll find lots of ideas to help you handle the family stresses of being confined to close quarters. YourLifeYourVoice.org. It might not get you out of the house, but it could help you find a little more breathing room.
And now, your Citrus TV Sports Report.
Syracuse fans, you've got a team in the NCAA tournament for the first time since 2021. Welcome into sports, I'm Ryan Bridges. SU women's basketball takes on Arizona in the first round tomorrow at 3:30. The Orange have been sputtering a bit down the stretch though, losing 3 of their last 4. So Coach Jack, what does the team exactly need to improve on?
You know, our toughness. You know, I just felt like our last game, we left so much on the table. We didn't show our toughness until the fourth quarter. And I think that it's important that people see us for who we have been all season. And that's a team that plays for 40 minutes. And we didn't have that opportunity. It's a blessing to play again, because now we get that opportunity to show 40 minutes of hopefully Syracuse women's basketball.
And Syracuse is going to need to bring that intensity to this very game right here, because it's one or done the rest of the way. Again, tomorrow at 3:30, this is a pretty good Arizona team, 11 seed in this bracket, while Syracuse is the 6th seed. Kaylin Gilbert is the one that you're going to have to look out for Arizona, averaging 15 points a game and shooting 40% from 3. A really experienced and very balanced Arizona team that could pose some problems for Syracuse on that front. But again, Syracuse women's basketball tomorrow at 3:30. And if Coach Jack wants the playbook on toughness, she could look at Syracuse men's lacrosse, who just held the best offense in the nation to Duke to 4 goals. SU head coach Gary Gate praised his defensive coordinator John O'Dearna for his unit's teamwork.
His philosophy is that, you know, it's the team's defense. And you're going to make mistakes, but if you know, 6 guys can make a mistake, but if they all make the same mistake, they can get a stop. If they all support it, no matter what.
So Syracuse is going to have to bring that defensive intensity that they've had throughout this entire season against Hobart tomorrow. Again, yes, it is at the same time as the Syracuse women's basketball game, so maybe some Orange fans will have both games up at the same time. I will say Syracuse women's basketball is playing in the one-and-done tournament at the very end of their season, while Syracuse men's lacrosse is playing towards the end. But that's not the only Syracuse lacrosse game that's going on tomorrow, though. Syracuse women's lacrosse plays at noon, just a little bit earlier. Number 7 Syracuse against number 9 Virginia should be a very good matchup. Syracuse does have a lot of losses for being inside the top 10. They do have 3, and Virginia is 9-1 on the season. So guys, it should be a busy week of Syracuse sports, but there's a lot of sports going on right now, right?
Yeah, speaking of, March Madness is going crazy right now. I mean, there were a ton of games today, so how's everyone's brackets doing?
I mean, let's take a look at yours, Ryan. Who do you have winning?
I have Arizona winning.
Okay.
I mean, they're doing okay. They won their first game, but you know, with every game you get a little nervous. What about you?
I love my dogs. I have UConn for the win.
Okay.
You know, I'm really hoping for a perfect bracket this year. I lost yesterday. I got Tennessee winning. I currently have 160 points, but I have an upset bracket that's at 180. So
all of our champions are still in it. So
yes,
we're doing
that's
okay.
what matters. Well, when we come back, we'll have your wake-up weather.
My name is Jenna Cooper, and I am the relationship psychologist.
My name is Paige Phillips. I am the astrologer, and this is Psych vs. Stars.
Hey Bobo, do trees tell each other stories?
I'm sorry. I'm afraid I don't know that.
Hey, why don't we go find out? Listen.
Can birds draw pictures?
I don't have an answer for that.
Dad, do stars visit their friends?
Look!
Hey Bobo, do trees tell each other stories?
They call me Maxie, but I prefer tripod. I was your above-average four-legged homie, and then wham, bam, minivan. Some people pity me. Now that's lame. I still run, fetch, and swim. And the ladies love me. I'm the ultimate wingman. Just don't ask me to high-five.
Welcome back to News Live at 6. Now tomorrow, students can expect to wake up to 30 degrees with the snow. The same snow we saw today and throughout the week we're going to be seeing tomorrow morning. It's a little bit lighter and it will go away by around 2 p.m. tomorrow, which is when the winter weather advisory is over. Thank goodness.
Yeah, I mean, Moira, moving from cold to warm, this summer the 2024 Paris Olympics opening ceremony is expected to premiere on IMAX screens. NBC says the debut of the games will be available on over 150 IMAX screens across the country this July.
And not just that, the Olympians will be going on a 4-mile long flotilla down the Seine River. Now, that's just crazy. I mean, they're going to be on all these boats and stuff. Like, I'll be on my floaty, honestly. Like, if I could be there, I'm just gonna be chilling, you know?
I mean, like, it seems so interactive. Like, you're just gonna feel like you're with them. Like, I don't know.
And a 4-mile river, too? That's so fun.
Yeah.
Opening ceremony is always the highlight.
Yeah,
I'm excited. Well, that's Citrus TV News Live at 6 for this Friday.
Don't forget, you can follow us on X and Instagram at Citrus TV News. I'm Katie Fongbongsa.
And I'm Cormair Costa.